Welcome back everyone, it's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back with another entry into our testing round series, taking a look at some more Darkness Ablaze decks for the upcoming post-rotation format. So here in this video we have a couple of new VMAXs from the new Darkness Ablaze set. We're going to be trying out the new Salamence VMAX and the new Centiskorch VMAX. So here in this video I'm going to be on the left, I'm going to be playing the Salamence VMAX deck. It's going to be kind of like the quote-unquote straight Salamence VMAX or Electroments, whatever you want to call this thing. We do have a video posted for this, and also the Centiskorch deck as well. Links down below in the description if you want to see the deck profiles. But then over on the right, we do have Haley Brokaw, who is going to be playing the Centiskorch VMAX deck. So it looks like we're just getting set up. I do forget who is going first and second in this game. Looks like I am going to take a mulligan there. So Haley is going to be able to draw one extra card whenever she does start her turn here. And on paper, I think this matchup seems like relatively even. Just because the Centiskorch VMAX, you know, it needs a lot of energy, but it can one-shot the Salamence. And Salamence can kind of put on early pressure to get some chip damage in early before the Centiskorch deck gets set up, and can come in with those, you know, finishing attacks later in the game. So I feel like the Salamence deck is probably going to more quickly put on pressure, but the Centiskorch deck, if it goes unchecked, is going to have, you know, these big one-hit knockouts that I can potentially take. So it looks like I did win the coin flip since Haley is going first. Normally she definitely would want to go second. You can see she has that Volcanion here. This would actually be an insane turn if she was going second. She'd be able to use that Flare Starter attack on the Volcanion, but unfortunately not. She's not going to be quite that fortunate this game. But here she's going to be going for a Centiskorch V, discarding a Fire Energy in the process. And she's also going to get down a Heat Fire Energy, so of course that's that new special energy. Provides a fire energy, but it also will increase her max HP by 20. And then looks like probably just a pass over to my turn. Not sure what we're discussing there. But anyways, so here I'm going to discard a Lightning Energy with Haley's Giant Hearth that she put in play, just because I want Lightning Energies in the discard. That way I can use Tap Cocoa Prism Star and get them back into play. So here I am in a communication for a Salamence V, getting down a powerful Colorless energy and going for a Marnie. So both these decks playing some of the new special energies that are coming out in Darkness Ablaze. The Salamence V deck, of course, playing that powerful Colorless energy, provides just Colorless energy, but Colorless Pokemon with it attached to 20 more damage. So that will hopefully, you know, fix our math a little bit. Kind of nullifies the heat energy that Haley has down there. But here it looks like I'm going to grab myself a Professor's Research, probably just for the next turn. Looks like I have quite a few things in hand. Really not sure what else I really want this turn, but here I'm just going to pass over to Haley. Just flipping for sleep. And here she has a Quick Ball, so it looks like she wants to play it, but she's kind of second guessing what she wants to do with it. So no doubt if she doesn't have a supporter, she's going to want to find herself, you know, a Dedenne GX or a Crobat or something like that to draw her some cards here. So it looks like she's a little bit conflicted about what she wants to get rid of here. So it looks like she's going to get down a second Heat Fire Energy. Now that's actually really annoying if she does do that, because the Centiskorch, its max HP is 320 by default. And the math for the Salamence VMAX's attack actually work out pretty nicely to hit that 320 amount. But right now with this one Heat Fire Energy, it's going to be at 340, and with another one at 360, that's really going to be a pain for my deck to sort of deal with, you know, effectively. Like, ideally, I don't want to have to 3-shot a Centiskorch. I'm fine with the 2-shot, but here it looks like she's discarding some Fire Energy with that Giant Hearth, and getting 2 more Fire Energy in the process here. So maybe she has a Welder in hand if that is the case. And okay, so there is the Welder. Of course, that's going to allow her to attach 2 Fire Energies from hand and then draw 3 cards in the process. She probably wants to find herself a VMAX, maybe just to protect this Centiskorch V, because right now it is being threatened of being KO'd by the Salamence VMAX. So I think that's really the other thing she wants to see this turn. Honestly, if she can attack as well and take an easy prize on Jirachi, that would be good, because then she would only have to knock out one VMAX and then probably just pick off a Dedenne or Crobat to eventually win the game. So here it looks like she played a quick ball or two, if I saw correctly. Looks like she started to go for a Centiskorch VMAX, but of course she can't quite get that with quick ball. She is going to be reliant on Pokemon communication to get the Centiskorch VMAX out of deck if she does want to. So it looks like she's going for a Heatran potentially. Oh, okay, I think I remember this game. I'm pretty sure this is the game she prized 2 Centiskorch V, if I remember correctly. I know we played at least one game where that happened, so that must be the case if she is just going to go for the Heatran here. And it looks like she's going for a Volcanion with the other quick ball that she played. So maybe she already has a Dedenne or something and she's just going to discard the Volcanion. That seems kind of like a likely situation that we have here. Didn't get a good look at her hand, so I'm not really sure all of the options she has access to right now. And so here she almost benched the Volcanion, but then she realized, you know what, I really don't need this other Volcanion in play. So we're just going to discard that, free up some bench space, thin the deck out in the process. And she does find the VMAX, so really, really good. Does she have the switch to go with it? And she does. So yeah, this is actually a really good turn from Haley. She's going to start putting on some pressure with this Centiskorch VMAX. And this thing is a freaking tank. Like, it's got 360 HP, and it's just like knocking on my door right now, doing a bunch of damage. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Centiskorch VMAX, new card of course from Darkness Ablaze, it does 40 plus 40 more for each fire energy attached to it. And then after you've done damage, you attach another fire energy from discard to it. So once this thing gets going, it really doesn't stop. So I need to start putting on some pressure. So here I am going for a quick ball, just sort of trying to decide what route I want to go here overall. So I think getting rid of the scoop up net is probably fine because I'm just going to discard my hand anyways. So I think I'm going to go for Zapdos here if I have it in deck. Okay, yeah, so I do play a Zapdos in this list of the Salamence VMAX deck. This is going to be nice at getting in some of that chip damage on this VMAX because I do have to soften it up. It's got 360 max HP. So ideally what I can do is attack into it with Zapdos. And then next turn, we just have to do 280 damage, I think it is. Because it's got 360 max HP. We're doing 80 right now. So yeah, we have to do 280 on the following turn. So here I'm going to play Dedenne, discarding my hand instead of playing the Research. Just trying to think if there's anything else I want to do this turn. Get down this Viridian. So I'm going to Pokemon Communication, Jirachi back in deck. I could go for a Salamence VMAX and sort of protect it from a potential boss's orders. But I'm going to go for a Crobat because my hand is dead, unfortunately. So ideally, I want to hit a Salamence VMAX and a supporter off of this Crobat if possible. Oh, and yeah, let's see what route I'm going to go with here. Okay, I do find a supporter. That's definitely good. So I kind of want to see a Marnie potentially. Or if I quick ball and get a Rangaroo in play, then I can maybe see going for a Research because I could protect maybe one of the boss's orders in my hand. But I kind of want to see a second Salamence. Oh, but here I'm going to go for the Zigzagoon. Okay. Yeah, I think I would, well, I guess more likely this Zapdos is going to get knocked out. So it might not matter, but kind of like my mindset was, I want to get down a Salamence and then still have room for a Cocoa Prism. So here you can see I actually drew into both of those, so that was definitely my issue. Definitely want to get down the extra Salamence though, just in case my other one gets knocked out. I have another one I can still evolve on the next turn. So whiffing the VMAX, definitely a bit of a bummer, but still getting in some chip damage with this Zapdos here. So let's see what Haley's going to do. Right now with her Centiskorch, she's hitting for what? 40, 80, 120, 160, 240 if I'm seeing correctly here. So yeah, boss orders would actually allow her to take a knockout on one of my bench Salamence V if she does want to do that or has access to that. But here she's going to play herself a Turbo Patch, one of my inclusions I'm currently playing in Centiskorch. She's going for a second Turbo Patch here. She does flip heads. And she does have a fire energy still in this card. So of course, Turbo Patch, if you guys aren't familiar with it, another new card from Darkness Ablaze. You flip a coin, if heads, attach a basic energy from discard to one of your non-GX basic Pokemon. And here she has a Professor's Research in hand, it looks like. And a Pokemon Communication. No, okay, so she's discarding the communication with Viridian. I see, I see. So here, this is actually a turn where if she finds herself a switch, that would be really big because she kind of wants to take a knockout on this Zapdos with this Volcanion. And here you can actually see where if she does hit the switch, the Turbo Patch is actually like pretty big here because even without a Welder, she's still able to get 2 energies on this Volcanion in the same turn. So she's going to get down another Giant Hearth, removing my Viridian from play. And she does have the switch, so you can see Haley's deck is kind of firing off on all cylinders here. So she's going to use that High Heat Blast attack on the Volcanion. This 50 plus 60 more if she has at least 4 fire energy in play. So that's going to be just enough to knock out this Zapdos, and it's going to protect that Centiskorch VMAX on the bench. So here she is going to Pokemon Communication, that Crobat V back in deck. And let's see what she's going to get. Okay, just starting this up another Centiskorch V just in case her other one goes down. Probably a smart move. So yeah, really good turn from Haley. I mean, I don't think there's anything else she really can do at this point other than just knock out my Zapdos. But yeah, getting the KO with the Volcanion specifically, really, really good. And yeah, we'll have to see. Okay, yeah, just a KO from there. That makes sense. So this turn, just like, I need a few things. Like, the thing that's frustrating is that this Centiskorch after a Welder can just knock me out pretty easily. Even if I evolve into the VMAX, which is sketchy. But here, I am going to get down the Cocoa Prism, just play it right away. Going to get down some Lightning Energy on this Dedenne and the Salamence V. And here I'm just going to go for a Marnie. So of course, Haley's going to get 4 cards after this. I'm going to get 5, but I really need to find my VMAX here specifically. And I do find both VMAXs. That's actually really good. But the issue I now kind of have is that, again, if Haley does find herself a Welder, then I'm pretty much toast. Or even like a switch, I think would knock me out because Heatran's GX attack would allow her to get a knockout if I'm seeing correctly. Because the GX attack is 50 for each fire energy in play. She has what? 50, 100... 200, yeah, so she can definitely get a knockout with Heatran if she has a switch as well. So here I am going to, looks like, attack with the first attack on Salamence VMAX. If you guys aren't familiar with it, just for a colorless energy, does 40 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So here I think the play, yeah, and you can see that's what I'm doing. I'm getting 60 damage on the active because of that powerful colorless energy, and then 40 damage probably on one of these Centiskorch on the bench here. And here I'm going to get it on the other one just because in this case, right now, the other one is, it actually can be knocked out by my current Salamence VMAX. Now, I do think it is a little bit sketchy if she does knock me out with that Centiskorch VMAX and I lose my Salamence with my powerful colorless energy, then I'm in trouble. Because then I'm only hitting for 240 with this other Salamence, and that's pretty bad if that's the case. So I think actually maybe it would have been safer to put that additional 40 damage on the already currently damaged Centiskorch VMAX. I was basically just trying to set up, future KOs and make sure this damage from the Zigzagoon and all my chip damage really wasn't wasted. I want to sort of be as efficient with my damage as possible. Really don't want to get down excess damage counters for no reason. So ideally with a scoop up net and an attack on this already damaged Centiskorch VMAX, I could take a knockout. So like I said, just try not to waste potential damage. So Haley can't knock me out with Heatran. So here it looks like she's pointing to it. Maybe we're discussing something about that. But she does need, I believe it's what, 7 fire energy to knock me out for its 50 damage multiplier, because Salamence VMAX has 320 HP. So yeah, she would need 7 energies in total. So it looks like her hand is just Turbo Patch, Fire Energy, and Fire Crystal at this point. So not a great Marnie, unfortunately, for her. Here it looks like she is... Okay, she has a Centiskorch VMAX, okay. So here it looks like she's just getting in some chip damage with this Volcanion. She really doesn't mind it going down too much. So here I have another Galarian Zigzagoon. So yeah, gonna get that damage counter on the already more damaged Centiskorch VMAX she has in play. Then I'd imagine from there, probably just going to see a research. She really didn't do too much on her turn here, so I don't want to Marnie, but at the same time, I'm thinking I don't want to discard this triple acceleration energy. So maybe there's actually a world where I just kind of sit on this hand. I think that's also kind of an option. Like, I kind of don't hate that. And here you can see I'm just kind of double checking some math here. So here, again, I guess just double check myself. Just kind of conflicted what route I want to go here. Taking note probably of how many triple acceleration energies I've used. So here I am going to dump my hand, draw 7. It really hurts getting rid of that triple because I do need that to power up Salamance's second attack. And I'm going to need to find more of those on future turns. So I think maybe in hindsight, that maybe I should have just kept my hand. That probably would have been a little bit better, I think. Like, this is my first time rewatching the games, but I think maybe I should have just kept that. And now I have to find an additional one next turn as a result. So just getting a little too aggressive when digging through my deck. So here I am going to use 60 damage to knock out the active, and then just trying to think where I want to put the other 40 damage here. And if I do remember correctly, I think I do misplay with my damage. Because right now, I think this 1 damage Centiskorch has 260 HP remaining. So here it looks like I am going to get the 40 on it. I think that is like the correct play here, but for some reason I'm thinking I ended up putting the damage on the other Centiskorch, which I don't think is correct actually. Okay, so looking back at this, I think I know why I went that route, because this Salamence is already damaged, so she probably doesn't want to attack with her attacker that has a ton of energy. She probably wants to just knock me out with this other Centiskorch. So just kind of spreading my damage around and basically saying, hey, if you attack me with this Centiskorch that has less energy, I'm still like kind of going to set up your HP in a way that I can knock you out no matter what. So now the issue is, next turn I need triple acceleration energy no matter what, but I can't also attach powerful Colorless, which means if I want to knock out the Centiskorch with a ton of energy, if that's the one that gets promoted, I will need some scoop up nets to make that happen. So I really don't think this was a horrible play on my part or anything. It might have been overly cautious at the least. Looking at what Haley's last turn was like, it was much more likely she was just going to attack me with this Centiskorch with all this energy. And I probably should have just consolidated all of my damage right on that one as a result. You know, if she was drawing a bunch of cards every turn, maybe there's more consideration to spreading damage around a little bit to basically be able to set up a one-shot on anything she promotes at that point. But I think just given what the state of the game was at this point, I think it was probably a little bit better just to consolidate that damage on that bigger Centiskorch VMAX that she's already put so many resources into. So looking at my hand, it looks like I actually had some switching options, so I could have even attacked with the other Salamence, preserving my powerful Colorless energy. But the downside to that route is that I couldn't actually knock out the active Volcanion, so it's like kind of a tricky spot. I think maybe the other route I could have gone is actually forgoing knocking out Volcanion and just choosing to target down both of the Centiskorches, because I kind of want to damage on both of them this turn. Because by sniping both, they're both sort of within that one-shot range of Salamance's second attack. So maybe in hindsight, I could have even abandoned this sort of like cheap prize on Volcanion and just switched strategies and committed to knocking out 2 VMAXs. So basically what I'm trying to say, guys, is if I am going to attack the Volcanion, I think I just absolutely had to snipe the Centiskorch that had more energy. But now, as you guys can see, I've put myself in a pretty bad spot, because if I can't respond after she takes this KO, between the energy she gets out of the discard pile and any attachment she has, she can easily just sweep anything I kind of promote. So yeah, I think overthinking that play on my last turn is probably going to get punished here. And it looks like she's just starting to power up this other Centiskorch back on the bench there. So yeah, she is just going to knock me out. And so here she's going to be able to get 3 prizes. And here, you guys, you can see the benefit of recording your game sometimes. It's one of those things where after the fact, you get to look back at footage, see what you did right, see what you did wrong here. And I am going to discard a Hoopa, going for another Salamence V, it looks like. So we'll have to see what I wind up doing with it. I mean, realistically at this point, I'm not going to be able to set up another Salamence, because if anything else gets knocked out, we just kind of lose over here. So more than likely, just trying to thin this out of the deck a little bit. Maybe just trying to increase my odds of finding something like triple acceleration energy or some scoop up nets or something to that effect. That would be my best guess here. And looks like I'm just kind of debating what route I want to go. Going to discard the Salamence V. Realistically, I'm not going to use another one at this point, because Haley's just down to 1 prize. If I lose another one, I lose anyways. So here I remember I needed 2 scoop up nets to make this happen. So I have 1, but the issue is I need a switching card and another scoop up net. And I also need triple acceleration energy. It's another thing too. Oh yeah, I think I remember here, because I have 2 bosses orders in hand. I remember thinking I just need a draw supporter and I'm good. Like I need to use Stellar Wish for a draw supporter and then define what I need for a turn. But now I'm in a weird spot where if I want to get a draw supporter, I have to scoop up net this Jirachi. And that's going to be one of my scoop up nets down. And I prized one this game, if I remember correctly. So I actually can't do my double scoop up net combo with Zigzagoon. So yeah, I definitely threw this game away at the very end of this by attacking with my damaged Salamence just to get that cheap prize on Volcanion, as opposed to attacking with my clean one and just sniping the bench. Yeah, definitely coming back to bite me a little bit here at this point. So it looks like I am a little bit conflicted as to what I want to do here. So I am going to scoop up net here. And let's see. So Haley has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy on this Centiskorch. Yeah, so she's taking a knockout right now, unfortunately, if she ever does attack into this Salamence. So here I'm just going to have to use my snipe attack, it looks like. Yeah, so here you can just see, I'm like, I just kind of don't know what I want to do with this turn at this point. After whiffing the supporter off of the Jirachi here, and realizing, like I said, after Haley got that knockout, realizing my powerful Colorless energy wasn't actually on my other Salamence as well. Yeah, it just kind of took my chance for getting this big KO on this Centiskorch away, or at least making it significantly harder. So here Haley's getting a ton of energy in play, so she does have the switch. So she is going to get a knockout, but here it looks like she's going to add some extra insult to injury, going to retreat this to Dene, and use Heat Ray and GX's ability to slam all of this energy onto active and just nuke my Salamence VMAX here. So yeah, this one was definitely my fault on this one, guys. Letting this game kind of slip away there. Definitely should not have let that Salamence go down on the previous turn, just because it had my powerful Colorless energy. Like, yeah, it would have been a damaged Salamence on the board for later. That could have been easily sort of cleaned up, but you know, if I didn't let her get that knockout that turn, she wouldn't have taken those 3 prizes. And, you know, we probably, in all likelihood, would have had a better chance of getting a KO on Centiskorch on the following turn. So, yeah, like, and yeah, she had a dead hand there, too. So I basically just kind of threw that game at the end. So definitely my bad on that one for sure. But nevertheless, this is a best 2 out of 3 series, guys, so I definitely still have a chance to bring it back in this matchup here. So no doubt I'm going to choose to go second here. I really don't want Haley to be able to use that Flare Starter attack on the Volcanion. That's such a good attack at setting up these Centiskorch Vs. So I was able to deny that last game. Still wound up not working out exactly how I wanted, but again, that was my fault towards the end of the game. We made some definitely some sketchy plays there at the very end, but let's see what we can make happen in this game. Alright, so starting with an Oranger, Salamence V to Haley's Centiskorch V. So gonna make her go first here. And really, just thinking back to the last game, you know, both of us set up kind of okay. You know, Haley, I think, actually had a crazy start up until I Martied her into, like, nothing. Even the Salamence VMAX deck kind of got set up decently, too. Just kind of wasn't able to find my triples. Again, having to discard them early on kind of set me back a little bit there. But if my deck can just kind of set up averagely, I think I can keep up with the Centiskorch VMAX, even though it is kind of like a snowball effect. Once these Centiskorches get going and you don't really have like an efficient way at quickly dealing with them, they just kind of snowball out of control and can just sweep anything that you put into play. So let's see what Haley is going to grab here. Looks like she's eyeing down a Volcanion potentially. Not sure how much I like that, just because she's going first in this game. So more likely she's not going to be able to make good use of Flare Starter. Okay, so here you can see she's second guessing herself. So I'd imagine if she has a way to draw cards already in her hand, probably just go for a Centiskorch V, or maybe have her Heatran on the bench to be able to attack with that at some point as well. I think I would prefer to see a second Centiskorch V, just in case I do wind up maybe taking out one of her other ones before she gets set up. So that definitely seems good. You know, since she can't play a supporter, I think all we really want to see from her at this point is maybe get down an energy attachment, and if she doesn't have a welder, maybe like Dead Age Change or something like that to help her draw some cards. So she is going to get down a Fire Energy, and it looks like she's just going to Crobat for a few cards here. And just from there, I imagine we'll see a pass. There's really not much else she can do. If she has a Stadium, she could play that, but yeah, not too much else there. And here she is going to just pass over to me, so I am going to get myself a Zapdos. And it looks like I'm going to use Primate Wisdom to, of course, change the top card of my deck with a card in my hand. So I'm going to get down a Viridian Forest here. And here I'm just trying to think, what do I really want to make happen? Do I want to attack with Zapdos this turn, or do I want to preemptively get down a powerful Colorless energy on the Salamence? So I am going to just scoop up net this Oranguru. That way I can potentially reuse its ability again after I go for a research. So here it looks like I am sort of favoring the Zapdos option, especially since I have the Viridian Forest already in play. So it looks like I'm just trying to figure out what I want to discard with this Viridian Forest, more than likely. But before I do, I'm going to actually probably use Primate Wisdom again, just to see if I can hit a Lightning Energy naturally. And yeah, I actually do, so that's really good. So I'm actually going to toss it away as well here to get another Lightning Energy out of deck. And here, it looks like I may have prized a few Lightning Energies if I saw correctly. You know, either way, we can definitely get these back out of the discard pile with Tapu Koko at some point. But here I'm just going to retreat into Zapdos, get in that nice 80 damage to start softening up this Centiskorch V. Make it a little bit easier for my Salamence VMAX to come in and clean up a knockout later in this game here. So let's see what Haley's going to do to respond. No doubt she's going to want to find herself Centiskorch VMAX. She does find that. That's definitely good. We're going to see a Quick Ball getting rid of, looks like a Fire Crystal. Okay, so that tells me she must just be going for a Dead-Eye change this turn, if that is the case. So there's a Communication, putting Eldegoss V back in deck, going for a Volcanion of her own here. And we'll have to see if she's going to bench it or just discard it. I think I might even want to see her discard it at this point. I could guess if she gets Welder and attaches both energies to the Volk and attaches to her Centiskorch and hits a switch, that could be okay. But I also don't hate just discarding it from play too if she does want to go that route. And it looks like she's debating maybe doing something else before this Dead-Eye change. Didn't get a good look at her hand. I think she has a Communication in there, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so she's going to get a Reset Stamp and a Pokemon Communication. Seems good. No doubt she's going to be looking for Welder, Switch, some Fire Energy as well. And I'm not sure if she got any of that. That might be the issue. Now, I think I do see a Heat Fire Energy in hand, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's on her far right there. If that is the case, definitely want to see that come down on the Centiskorch VMAX, just to give it some more HP. You saw kind of towards the end of the last game how much that plus 20 damage starts to really affect the math of this Salamence VMAX deck. So definitely want to see her get that down if that is the case. So yeah, she has a Heat Fire Energy. I think that might be a Boss's Orders in hand as well. So looks like she's discarding a Quick Ball with my own Viridian Forest to get herself a Fire Energy here. That seems okay. Just trying to thin the deck out a little bit in the process. Oh, and she does have a Welder. Okay, so she just might not have the second energy. That's probably what's tripping her up. She's probably just thinking, no, what do I want to do with this hand since I don't have both Fire Energy? And it looks like she is going to attach to the active. I'm not sure how much I like that, though she could. Okay, so she does find Centiskorch VMAX. And she does have the Heat Fire Energy as well, okay. And then just a knockout, and she is going to be able to get an energy out of the discard pile attached to this Centiskorch as well. So it looks like I'm debating promoting the Ranger, but I ultimately decide on the Salamence V. The big issue, though, this turn, I do want to get myself down a Tapu Koko Prism Star and a triple Acceleration Energy to start swinging on this Centiskorch. So right now with the Heat Fire Energy, the Centiskorch VMAX has a max HP of 340 minus the 80, so I have to do 260. So in order to do that, I will need a lot of stuff. It's not out of the realm of possibility, to be honest, guys, but it's definitely going to be a little bit tricky here. So I'm going to need like Zigzagoon, Scoop Up Net, Coco, Triple, and probably like a switching card as well at some point here to make all this happen. So here I'm going to discard a Boss's Orders, probably grabbing Coco or a Zigzagoon. Oh, looks like I am going for Crobat potentially. Okay, but I am going to go for the Coco here. Yeah, I definitely will need that at some point for sure. I see Zigzagoon in deck. I know we have some Scoop Up Nets in there as well. So, you know, if I can pull off this knockout, I think that's going to be a pretty big turn. So I am going to go for a Marnie. Who, of course, is going to get 4 cards. I'm going to get 5. And I do have a switch as well, so that's definitely good. I have Quick Ball, so I can also get Crobat V as well here at some point. So the issue here is I kind of want everything in my hand because I want to save communication to find, like, I want Quick Ball to get Crobat, but I also want communication to get a Zigzagoon. That's the issue. But here I'm going to get rid of the powerful Colorless energy. I realize that's probably not what I'm going to be hunting down this turn. I need triple acceleration plus this Coco here. So I am going to go for a Crobat V, it appears. Going to put that into my hand. So we're getting closer and closer to making this happen. So here I'm going to draw 3 cards with Crobat V. I do not get any of the stuff I wanted. But I can actually get the Zigzagoon if I do choose to do that because I have communication, but we don't have triple acceleration energy to go with all this. That's kind of the next issue here. Now, if I have a Dedenne GX left in deck, that is also something I could do to maybe keep digging to make this combo happen. But at the same time, like, do I really want to discard 2 more powerful Colorless energy? But I don't know, maybe it is worth it to get this KO. Because I feel like that would be a pretty big tempo swing if I am able to make that happen here. So here, it looks like I must be conceding I'm not going to get the one shot if I'm attaching. And it looks like I'm going to scoop up net this Jirachi back into my hand here. Oh, here it looks like I was kind of conflicted if that's what I want to do, but that is what we are ultimately going to settle on. And here, just going to get down the sniping attack, 60 on the active, 42 stars Centiskorch. Now, one thing I do have to be careful about with this turn is that Haley could theoretically knock me out, because if she finds her Heatran and gets some more energy into play, she needs 7 total. Really not out of the realm of possibility. If she's able to make that happen, then that's pretty huge. So maybe I would have liked to have seen myself communicate that VMAX away for a base Salamence V, maybe just to be on the safe side. But let's see what she is going to have access to this turn. So I think I see a Professor's Research in hand, if I saw correctly. I didn't get a good look at the other stuff she has, but again, she really wants to find a way to get some more energy into play. I think I see a Turbo Patch in hand. I'm not sure if she has any energy actually in discard to use it with, though. And here it looks like she's just going to retreat this turn. Okay, that tells me she's just going to attempt to take a turn off. And it looks like she does flip Tails on Turbo Patch. Oof. Ow, she flips a second Tails. That definitely feels bad. And she's going to discard a Volcanion with that Viridian Force I have in play. And again, she's probably just conceding this turn, basically saying, hey, I'm just going to take this turn to refill my hand and start attaching probably to this other Centiskorch. We could maybe even see her attached to the active Volcanion and attempt a Flare Starter. Okay, that looks like what she is. Okay, so it looks like she's a little bit conflicted, like, do I really want to commit more energy to this Volcanion? Like, it really just depends on how much energy she has left in deck. I think that's the question. Because if she is running very low on energy in deck, I think she just attaches to the VMAX directly. But if she doesn't, if she has plenty of energy, I think it's fine to just attach to this Volcanion here. And there we do see another Turbo Patch, so let's see if Haley's luck can kind of change here. Oh, but maybe she is second guessing her decision. I imagine we'd see her play it. I feel like it doesn't really hurt too much, unless she's thinking about powering up a different Centiskorch V. And did not really get a good look at where the die went. Okay, so she's going to re-roll it. And I think that's ahead. So that's definitely good. She can get energy down probably on Crobat here. I wouldn't imagine it's going to come down onto the active Volcanion since it's in danger of theoretically being knocked out. Here she's just going to use Flare Starter and attach to this other Centiskorch. But the issue is I can kind of stagger my damage in a way to set up the math on this Centiskorch VMAX she's powering up to be cleaned up with another knockout or another attack at some point from this VMAX. So I'm going to use Primate Wisdom. I do find myself a Dedenne GX. Going to Pokemon Communication. Looks like the VMAX away for the base form V. And then from here I can probably just burn Cocoa Prism to get some energy in play before using this Dedenne. So yeah, gonna get down the energy on probably Crobat, I would imagine, and the Salamence V. That definitely seems good. Going to retreat into... I feel like there's no reason not to retreat into Jirachi here unless I want to protect the switch in my hand. But I am going to go for the Star Wish. So I guess I'm not too worried about the switch I'm going to have to burn here. I could grab Communication and then just discard that with a Dedenne Change here. Just to thin another card out of deck. But here I'm just going to fail the Stellar Wish. So switch back into the VMAX and then just Dedenne Change. Get a fresh hand of 6 here. So I do get triple acceleration energy. That's definitely good. Unfortunately, I did whiff energy here. Or not energy, Boss Swords. I think that's what I was looking for this turn, if I'm not mistaken. But honestly, I don't hate taking a knockout on this Volcanion, because if I do knock out this Volcanion, then all I have to do is knock out a VMAX, and I can just gust up a Dedenne or Crobat to eventually win. So if you guys aren't familiar with the second attack on Salamence VMAX, we actually haven't seen it yet in the series. But it's 4 colorless energy, does 240, and you can't use that attack on your next turn. So going to take out this Volcanion. Like I said, probably just going to deal with this one Centiskorch that she's working on getting powered up. And then after that, just probably a cheap 2-prizer to close out this game. So here she is going to promote the Centiskorch that is currently a little bit beat up already. So I think if she has access to the base form Centiskorch V, if she can create a play where she attacks with that, that would actually be good, because Centiskorch V can discard my energy, and that would prevent me from using my, big cleanup attack on my next turn. So that's, I think, the route I want to see from Haley. She needs to slow me down here, I think. But I guess at the same time, I have the Salamence V on the bench with an energy, and I have Air Balloon on my active, so maybe it's not that great of a play now that I'm thinking about it. If I didn't have the other Salamence V with an energy, I think that would be probably the way to go here. But so it's like she is spreading her energy around, sort of conceding to the 2-shot strategy. No matter what this turn, she's going to be able to do 120. So she can definitely soften me up pretty good here. And then hopefully next turn, she can ideally find herself like a Welder. Stuff like that to clean up this knockout. But the issue is I'm going to eventually evolve this other Salamence V, and that's going to be a problem for her. So you can tell Haley's like in a little bit of a tough spot. You can even see it, like, by the way she's playing. It's like, man, like I'm kind of in a bad spot. I don't have much energy in play. My Centiskorches are already a little bit beat up. So it's a general sort of feels bad. So she's going to hit me for 120. Soften up my Salamence VMAX here. And I do have my other VMAX. That's definitely really good. Going to retreat into Jirachi. And I'm going to... Looks like I do get a triple acceleration energy. That's definitely good. Now here I do end up attaching to the VMAX without the powerful Colorless energy. And here I almost forgot to use Stellar Wish before I switched. So it looks like I'm going to get Quick Ball. And yeah, I do this again. Like, you just kind of get used to persistently having that like plus 20 buff. So, so I'm like attaching to my other Salamence thinking I'm getting that, but that's definitely not the case, guys. So on one hand, I'm attaching to a Pokemon that has no damage, and it's probably going to be able to tank a hit. But the downside is that by attacking with this one instead of the one with the powerful Colorless energy, that means that I am going to for sure need another attack to finish off this Centiskorch, instead of just being able to use like a Zigzagoon and a Scoop Up Net to clean up this knockout. Ultimately, I'm kind of favoring just preventing Haley from getting those easy prizes at this point, since she really didn't do a whole lot on her last turn there. So I think another play that also could have had potential was I saw Boss's Orders off of that Stellar Wish. I could have maybe even grabbed that and just knocked out this bench Centiskorch, just basically leaving this more powered up one in play to deal with. So I think there's merit to that play, but at the same time, I think probably a little bit better I didn't, because if I did sort of play around the active and then she were to like Boss's Orders up my bench damage Salamence, knock that out, and get a bunch of energy in play, I probably wouldn't be able to take a one-shot on this thing, and then she could just sweep my remaining Salamence from there. So even though I'm not getting the KO on this active this turn, I still think I'm doing the right thing, since this is definitely the bigger threat on the board that I need to deal with. Because again, if you let these Centiskorches sort of go unchecked, they can just sort of snowball out of control and be able to sweep anything that you promote. But either way, the first attack on the Salamence VMAX can finish this thing off at some point here. As long as she doesn't attach Heat Fire energy, that's sort of the only thing that would really screw this up. So Haley's just kind of in like an awkward spot, because she needs 7 energy on this active, and I really don't know if that's going to happen for her. Or she needs to find a way to attack with Heatran. And that could happen, but she would have to expend like all of her energy in the process to do that. So here she has the Heat Fire energy, and she's just like, she feels so trapped. You can just tell, because like both these Centiskorches are beat up. She barely has the amount of energy she wants in play, and so she just kind of probably feels like she's in a corner. Like, what do you do at this point? Like, what's her out? And here you can see she's like not confident about where she even wants to attach to, which I totally get. I think there is like an argument to attach to this active, just because it does throw off my math a little bit. It forces me to have Boss's Orders and attack it with this benched Salamence with the powerful Colorless energy. That would prevent it from being like bench sniped. So that's, I think, the argument to attach the Heat Fire energy there. But at the same time, she probably wants the energy on a less damaged Centiskorch as well. So yeah, it's just generally kind of rough here. Here it looks like she is going to eventually settle on putting it on the bench. I think that's fine. Honestly, she's in kind of a bad spot either way. Like, there's definitely the argument for both, and she has a switch, so that's good. So she can at least preserve some energy, but the issue is that this Centiskorch on the bench can eventually be just picked off by the first attack on Salamence VMAX. So here she has a Volcanion. She's going to get that down on the bench. And she must not have a very good hand. That Marnie must have really done a number on her here. So we might just see her have to attack for 120. And that looks like what we're going to see. Oh, and it looks like maybe we're talking about Viridian. So maybe she's thinking about she wants to play that. Okay, so that seems good. Oh yeah, I do remember this. She told me after the fact that she had a pretty good hand, so she wanted to rearrange the order of her deck. So that makes sense. That's definitely a common sort of, I think, generally good play, guys. If you ever get Marnied, and a lot of the cards you want are on the bottom of your deck, sometimes, even if you don't necessarily need anything particular, if you can just play any card that will allow you to reshuffle your deck, that will definitely you know, maybe help you draw out of those bad Marnies from time to time. But yeah, just going over to my turn. We'll have to see what route I'm going to take here. It looks like I have boss's orders in hand, but just trying to think what I want to do though. So I do hit a triple acceleration energy off of the Primate Wisdom. That's definitely a really good one to hit here. So here I am going to have to attack with this other Salamence. And here, I don't know why I did this. Like, oh, actually, I think I do remember this actually. So while I think normally I would definitely want to just attack with the Salamence with the lightning energy on it, just to, you know, protect that powerful colorless energy I have in play in case Haley has another heat fire energy. I think Haley's actually out of her heat fire energies, and I was just like, well, doesn't really matter. I think technically I probably should have still attacked with the one with the lightning energy, just because there's not really any downside to it, but it effectively doesn't matter because both her heat fire energies, I'm pretty confident, are in the discard at this point. So there's nothing she can really do to throw off the math of either of my Salamences. So regardless of which one she knocks out this turn, a 40 snipe from the one on the bench is going to allow me to knock that thing out. But like I said, if Haley did have heat fire energies remaining, then obviously it would have been a little bit better to preserve that Salamence, try to protect the one with the powerful colorless energy. But like I said, in this particular instance, I don't think it really wound up mattering. But here it looks like she's powering up this Volcanion, maybe just setting up for a Flare Starter potentially. So she's going to bring up my Oranguru. And here I think she is just going for the deck out strategy at this point. She doesn't have like a path to victory. If I'm ever able to attack once with either my Salamence, she just loses. So she's going to attempt to deck me. But unfortunately for her, I do have the energy to retreat and all this stuff. So there's going to be a Giant Hearth. Now, if she had Wondrous Labyrinth, because that is in the list that I have Haley playing here, that would be pretty big. But unfortunately, I have the energy to just retreat, attack with Salamence, and then I can just attack this Centiskorch on the bench. So that is going to be game 2, guys. So forcing the game 3 here. Man, that I think that Marnie was just really rough on Haley there. I mean, even still, like, I was able to put on a good bit of pressure before she got much energy in play. So at that point, it's like, if she ever does commit a lot of energy to any given Centiskorch, I just sort of pick it off with Salamence VMAX. So definitely not quite as an oppressive start as she had in game 1, but, you know, like I said, guys, best 2 out of 3 series, so she can definitely bring it back in this last game. If she has a start like she did in game 1, then yeah, she can definitely pull off a win here. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. No doubt, I'm assuming she's going to choose to go second, if I'm not mistaken. And here you can see she's showing me like her starter options are so bad in this game. Looks like she is opting to start with Crobat V. Definitely not what you want to see. She's finally going to get to go second to potentially use Flare Starter, and she doesn't even start with Volk. But here I'm just going to get down. Looks like a Salamence VMAX, or not VMAX, but Salamence V. I'm going to Communication the VMAX away. And probably just going to attempt to hunt down an energy attachment for turn. That's the big thing I really want to see here. So I'm going for the Oranguru, just kind of saying, you know what, if I do that, I can put this triple acceleration energy back into my deck and protect it from like a Dedenne change or something like that. Yeah, because I have a Dedenne in hand, so that makes sense. So I do find another Jirachi, and do I Stellar Wish to rearrange the order of my deck and not draw back into triple acceleration energy? But here it looks like I'm going for the Dedenne, just saying, hey, I want to hit triple for the next turn and an energy to already attach. So definitely a good hand to get. I found the powerful colorless energy. I still have access to Stellar Wish for turn as well. So ideally I want to hit Pokemon Communication, I think. So I'm going to grab myself a Marnie, it appears. So I have a quick ball at hand. Like I said, would have liked to have gotten communication. That way I could next turn communicate my quick ball target away for a VMAX. But then from there, probably just a pass over to Haley. So here she is going to Welder. Oh, this feels bad. Really not what she wants to see here. So she has a couple fire energies. She's probably just thinking, do I want to put all of them on Crobat? And it looks like that is the route she's going to go here. Does she get a Volcanion? That's the next sort of order of business. She wants to find Volcanion and she wants to find a Centiskorch V. So she has a communication that's going to get her Volcanion, but she needs an attacker to get down the bench to be able to Flare Starter as well. I mean, technically she doesn't need to Flare Starter, but she wants to get down a Centiskorch so that way she can start accelerating energy to it. So of course, guys, if you aren't familiar with the Flare Starter attack, you just for a fire energy, search your deck for a fire energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. But if you're going second and it's your first turn, you can get 3, which is pretty nuts here for this Centiskorch deck. And we know that she has that Dedenne, so that's another card we're going to see eventually. Here she's going to go for a Turbo Patch. So nice. She does get a head, so that's definitely cool. It basically just kind of wound up being an energy switch this turn, effectively. And so here she's just going to Dead-A change. And now she actually can still attach for turn. So if she does get her Centiskorch, she can actually just attach to that instead, which is pretty nice. Whereas if she didn't have access to Turbo Patch, she wouldn't have been able to. So yeah, she does manage to find herself a Quick Ball. So we are going to see the turn 1 Flare Starter from the Centiskorch deck. So this definitely feels pretty oppressive. I definitely need to start putting on some pressure this next turn. And so she's going to get down a Fire Energy, and then she can accelerate 3 more. And at that point, man, like, things are kind of sketchy. I won't lie to you. So I'm just trying to think, like, what route do I want to go here? Like, what do I want to attack with this turn? That's the big thing. Do I want to risk my Salamence VMAX in the active spot? Here I'm going to go for a Stellar Wish. And I'm just trying to think, do I grab anything? But I am going to go for a Quick Ball, it appears. Basically, I'm just thinking, do I want to attack with Zapdos this turn? Or do I want to attack with my Salamence? But I think I kind of do want to attack with Salamence. Like, I really want to start getting some chip damage in on this Volcanion. Not Volcanion, I'm sorry, the Centiskorch on the bench. So there's going to be another Salamence V. Going to Quick Ball again, so probably just to grab a Cocoa Prism if I had to guess. And okay, yeah, this is the game I think I realized. Oh wait, Cocoa Prism is prized, so that feels bad. That definitely feels bad here. So yeah, I definitely want to make sure I can find myself a VMAX. And probably just, I think probably get down another manual attachment on this other Salamence. Because basically I want to leave both my attackers to where they're only a triple acceleration away from attacking, since I don't have access to this Volcanion. So there's Crobat, just going to draw a few more cards. I do hit another powerful Colorless energy. That's definitely good. Find myself a Scoop Up Net. So that is going to allow me not only to move my Jirachi out of the active, but I can also communicate it back in deck, grab myself a VMAX. So yeah, this turn kind of turned around a little bit for me, and now I can get that other powerful Colorless energy down on my other Salamence V. Now I could even attack and just knock out this Volk, but I think that gets, I mean, it's like not the end of the world if I do that, but I think this is going to be a little bit better. I really want to start softening up that Centiskorch V just because it is kind of the looming threat here. So just going to go for a Marnie, just kind of hoping Haley's not going to get that VMAX with a Welder and the energy she needs to take a knockout. So here I'm going to go for a Quick Ball, just going for another Jirachi. So I think maybe my hand is dead if that's the case. Just in case she does knock me out, I do want to be able to promote this Jirachi, maybe find myself another supporter. So yeah, gonna get 60 on the active, which is really nice, and then 40 on the Centiskorch V. So here she does have a Giant Hearth, and she's gonna toss a Welder, so that tells me she must have another one in hand, which feels really bad. I needed her to not have a Welder this turn. Now, the next thing that could sort of go my way is if she whiffs the VMAX. That's the next thing I need her to definitely whiff here. And here she out of energy? Because she did Giant Hearth away the Welder. Yeah, it looks like Haley's out of energy. So, yeah, I think this game she had 3 fire energy prize, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, man, that is definitely feels bad for her. And she has 1 fire energy she can Welder, but I definitely want to see her do it on this Centiskorch here. Now, if she has herself a Heatran GX, she could actually still get a KO this turn. But if she does go the Heatran route, she does run the risk of it being return KO'd on the following turn. But here she's going to toss away another Welder. So yeah, this is definitely sort of a rough turn for her here. Okay, so she's going to Quick Ball, getting a Volcanion, then Quick Balling the Volcanion away, just to thin that deck a little bit more to grab this Dedenne GX. So yeah, I could definitely still get knocked out. This Centiskorch is also unevolved, so right now she can still have access to Turbo Patch. And if she's able to get that off and a Centiskorch VMAX, then I'm kind of toast here. The Heat Fire Energy is also kind of problematic if she does take a knockout. Because she has 340 max HP, I would have to hit 300 on my next turn, and it's just not going to happen. So here she does have the switch. And does she have the VMAX to go along with it? That's the next question. Oh, but here, so she's going to go for the first tackle on Centiskorch V. So this is definitely super annoying for my deck because I'm a deck that's very reliant on manual attachments. But just for a fire energy, she does 20. And if she chooses to, she can discard energy from her Centiskorch and also discard energy from my active. So I'm just going to Stellar Wish here. Grabbing another switch. I really want to find myself a draw supporter there, so that's definitely a really big turn for Haley. You know, going for the defensive play and me also not having a way to draw cards, definitely really big for her deck here. So I have a switch. Do I burn it and save this Jirachi, or... Like, this is definitely a tricky situation for my deck to be in. Like, I almost feel like I have to switch here. Like, I feel like I have to switch into a Ranger. That's probably the best target because I can always switch out of the active or scoop up net. Whereas if I switch into something like Crobat or Dedenne, not only are they easy 2 prizes, but also I can't burn scoop up net on them as well. I could even go for a defensive boss's order, so it looks like that is what I'm going to do here. So I'm kind of saying, hey, I really want to save this Jirachi I have in the active spot, so... So it looks like I'm a bit conflicted about what I want to do here. I'm going to get down this Viridian, and I'm going to toss away this... Communication. Okay, so this is fine. And then at this point, I can just switch into Salamence VMAX and start spreading a little bit here. So the boss's orders is actually pretty big just because in this case... Oh, and here, looks like Haley started to do her turn, but No, I still want to attack. So we're going to get in that chip damage. But here the boss orders, I think, on my part was also pretty big because we saw that Haley was out of energy. So I'm like, well, realistically, unless she drew in a Fire Crystal, this Dedenne isn't moving. She can't Turbo Patch to it. She's out of energy. So more than likely, it's going to stay there for a turn if her hand is still dead. So let's see what she is going to do in response here. Now, if she has a switch and discards another energy, that also feels really, really bad. Like, realistically, I could maybe just lose this matchup just from her using that one attack over and over, to be honest, guys. Like, that almost even feels like a better strategy than the Centiskorch VMAX. So here I did not get a good look at what her hand has, but yeah, if she has a switch, I think she attacks me with the Centiskorch. I think that's definitely what I would do here. Keep stripping my energy from play. So here she's going to discard, or no, she's going to communicate the base form Centiskorch V back in deck. So let's see what she's going to grab here. Maybe an Eldegoss, if it's in deck. Maybe another... Okay, but it looks like she's going to go for the Heatran. So if she has a switch, is she going to attack with Heatran? That's my next question, but... Oh, and she has another Heat Fire energy. If she ever evolves this thing, it's going to really wreck me. But here she's going to go in with the Heatran. So this is going to be really big. She can move all this energy. She needs, what, 5 total? Or no, 6 to knock me out. And she has it, and she's able to keep those Heat Fire energies on the Centiskorch on the bench as well. So this is... Oh, and she has the Wondrous Labyrinth to go with it. So yeah, this was a really big response from Haley, netting 3 prizes in the process. But here, if I can get myself a triple acceleration energy, you know, I'm going to be in a good spot. I also do need another Salamence VMAX to be able to take a return KO. So going to get rid of that powerful Colorless energy. I do see the switch, and we get the VMAX and triple. And the counter stadium as well. So I got everything I wanted there. I got kind of lucky off that research. Now, the next thing I need to do is attempt to get Coco Prism out of the prizes. So here, just going to switch into the VMAX. Going to clear 6 energy off the board, which definitely feels pretty good. But here, again, like, Haley still has this base form Centiskorch V, and it can just strip my energy away turn after turn. And if she's able to keep doing that, like, I think I can just lose just from running out of energy and ways to attack. Because the triples discard themselves at the end of my turn no matter what. So if she just keeps discarding my lone manual attachment every time I do this, then it's going to be really hard for me to ever pick off this Centiskorch V here. So here we do see an Eldegoss V in her hand. I think we see some fire energy as well. So it's definitely a bit awkward because her board is pretty bad, but I don't think she can actually afford to attack with the VMAX here. I think she actually just has to attack with the base form Centiskorch V. I think that's actually her best play at this point. That's the one that gives her the least chance of being return KO'd on my next turn. So I've gone through, what, 2 or 3 lightnings, several powerful colorless, several triple accelerations. I've probably used about half my energy so far, if I had to guess. See, I'm really not even sure what she wants. I think really the only thing she cares about is me whiffing energy until she's ready to, like, I think she just goes with this strategy, just stripping my energy turn after turn, and then the turn I don't have another manual attachment, that's her turn to go in with the VMAX and start putting on some pressure to try to sweep me. I think that's kind of the correct course of action for her deck. She just has to knock out one more Salamence and she wins. And so here, yeah, you can see that is the strategy she is going to be going with. I think. Okay, she's going to opt to hang on to the energy and bench Eldegoss, maybe to get Welder. So that kind of appears to be the route she's going to go. Okay, so she may as well draw some cards in the process of all that, I suppose. And there we see a Fire Crystal, so she can actually attach again if she is going to choose to. Okay, so she's going to get down another Fire Energy on this active. So she realizes, you know, she has to discard her own Fire Energy, so she needs to make sure that she also has energy to be able to burn. And she would definitely prefer to get rid of these basic fires as opposed to these heat fire energies. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, the winning strategy for the Centiskorch V deck at this point in the game. And at this point, I think I need to just kind of retreat to the bench and buy a turn where I can keep an energy in play successfully. Like ideally, I want to get the Salamence on the bench, attach a lightning energy, and then next turn I go in and start attacking. And let's see. I have 2 lightning energy in hand, but there's like almost no point in attaching. But looks like I'm going to bring up this Dedenne. I definitely think this is actually a really bad play. I don't know why I'm doing this. Well, I think the reason is because I think she has some copies of Turbo Patch left, if that's the case. Or am I knocking out this Volk? Okay, yeah, I'm going to knock out the Volk. So I think if I wasn't knocking out Volcanion, I would actually bring that up since it has the 2 retreat cost. And here, unfortunately, I still did not get my Cocoa Prism out of the prizes. That's the big card I was really looking for here. I'm also curious the amount of switches Haley has remaining, because if she was out of switches, I definitely think bringing up Volcanion would have been the correct play, but maybe she still has plenty. So it's hard for me to say which was the correct one to do here without knowing what her discard is, but I think getting the Cocoa out of the prizes is pretty important, so this is probably fine as well. But also, I guess bringing up Dedenne is pretty good in a way because she has to burn an attachment on it if she wants to retreat. She can't Turbo Patch to it, so I guess that's okay. Like, I know she's basically out of energy, so all of her attachments are pretty precious at this point in the game, just like mine are. So yeah, we're in for a really grindy portion of this game at this point. As you can see, guys, she's going to discard an energy. So that's going to get in 20 more damage on my Salamence, and then I am going to have to discard that energy on my active. Really not sure what's going on at this point here. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. So I guess I was just checking some stuff. And I do need to change my damage. I was supposed to take 20 damage from that attack. So I forget if we fixed that or not, but yeah, I should be at 40 damage. 280 HP left in total here. And at this point, I really just need a switching method. Just communicating, seeing what I have access to left in my deck at this point. Looks like I'm going for a Jirachi, so I must have a Marnie or a Research if that's the case. So I'm going to discard Jirachi. Not sure what to grab here. I could get Zigzagoon and get some damage on something. That's definitely an option, but here I'm going to go for the Salamence. Yeah, I kind of want to save the Zigzagoon. I'd rather it be more of like a surprise factor to maybe, you know, cheat my last little bit of damage to knock out the Centiskorch potentially or something. Here I am just going to power up this Salamence on the bench and then just research. Okay. So this seems fine. And here I'm just going to retreat into Jirachi, just Stellar Wish probably. And so at this point, I'm basically just saying, hey, you know what? Next turn, I'm going to smack you, so you have to do something. Now, if she has boss's orders, that would be absolutely huge. I think I lose because I think I'm out of energy, if that's the case. Because I've already used all my lightning energies. Coco is still in the prizes, was not able to draw. I've discarded, I think, 3 powerful colorless energies, so maybe I have 1 more left in deck. But even if I have 1 left in deck, that's not good enough, I don't think. Oh, and she does have the boss's order, so she can bring up my Salamence V. Absolutely huge play. Pretty crushing. I think if she didn't have the boss's orders here, then I would be in a good spot to actually close out this game, because I'm pretty sure I would have access to the knockout. So yeah, this was absolutely huge right here. Yeah, if she didn't have this, I think I would have probably been in a much better spot. So we'll see if she's going to do anything else before attacking, but I mean, I think that's really about it. She just wants to hit me for 20. Damage almost really doesn't matter at this point. It's really just about preventing me from getting that first attachment down. So she's going to discard another Centiskorch V, just thinning the deck a little bit. Well, I'm not sure if there's anything in particular she wants to get, or like what if she's thinning to dig out something in particular, but here she's just going to get another Volcanion, getting it out of the deck. But it's almost irrelevant. Like I said, the big thing here is just removing my energy. So going to get 20 damage on the Salamence V. And I think that's it, because if I remember right, I'm actually out of every switching option in my deck other than my scoop up nets. So here it looks like I'm going to use Primate Wisdom. And I'm going to scoop up net the Oranguru back in my hand. I guess that's fine. Gonna get it back down and then just Marnie. So we'll see if I have another energy left in deck. Okay, I do have a powerful colorless energy. So the game's not over just yet, guys. I mean, it's pretty close to being over, but it's not over. So here, I'm really curious why I attached to the active. Oh my god, this is so dumb. Guys, like, why are you subscribed to this channel? Like, I'm attacking with Salamence V thinking it's the VMAX. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Yeah, I have no idea what I was thinking there, guys. Well, either way, I know I'm actually out of energy. I do remember this. I'm out of energy completely other than triples. And if I just would have left the Salamence V in the active, then I would have just lost anyways, because she could literally just draw past and I would lose. So the game is over no matter what, guys. But, like, my active is not a VMAX. It's supposed to be a VMAX for me to be able to, like, attack with it. But yeah, either way, this game is definitely over. The boss's order on the last turn was really, I think, like the nail in the coffin here. But oh my god, I don't know what it is with all these like colorless cards that I'm playing with, but my brain is just like, oh, they're all the same to me. Salamence V and VMAX, that does the same thing. Or like in the other game where I thought, like, I was used to having the +20 modifier in play, so I just thought that my other Salamence V also had it. So yeah, guys, throw me some likes on this thing out of pity. Definitely not my finest moment, guys. Former world's competitor here at work. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, I can evolve if I really want to. I can attack with triple acceleration energy if I really want to, but we're actually not going to win that way. I don't have enough triples in deck to actually even pick off anything. So there's the VMAX, there's the triple acceleration energy. And there I just have to do a 40 snipe. And so at this point, like, I think Haley just goes in with the VMAX, and just smacks me with that, basically. Because she can attack me with that. It's going to like, she basically just two-shots me from here, and the most I can do is 40 damage. If I have another triple acceleration energy. So yeah, the game is over, but we're going to play it out, guys. She does flip heads on a Turbo Patch. Definitely nice. Be able to get that on her Centiskorch V. She does have another VMAX. Even though she's lost a lot of energy, luckily the Centiskorch VMAX does get energy out of the discard pile with its attack. So she is going to be able to keep powering this thing up. And yeah, she rained me out of energy to the point where now she can just evolve, keep attacking enemy, and just sweep me here. So there's going to be a Fire Crystal as well, getting some fire energies out of the discard pile. And so she's going to attack for turn. So she can actually hit for 200 right now, if I'm not mistaken. And then next turn, I'm probably just going to pass, or I'm going to do 40. Here she's going to go for Turbo Patch. Gonna flip tails. And so yeah, just probably hit me for 200, and of course getting a fire energy out of discard in the process. Looks like I'm going to Primate Wisdom. Really not sure what I would even go for, or what I'd be trying to go for here. And yeah, here I think we're just talking, just saying like, yep, that's basically game. Like, I'm just going to get decked out, maybe. Oh, but here I'm trying to like deck her out, but now I must be checking for boss's orders if that's the case. Or something like that. So I think maybe she still has one left in deck, if I remember correctly at this point. And I'm going to get my own boss's orders, so I could even bring up something, like I could bring up like Eldegoss or something, but she just Fire Crystaled, so she can just retreat whatever she wants, really. So I think I basically just have to hope that she prized her other boss's orders and just let her deck out. I think that's my only win condition at this point. And here, yeah, she has the boss orders, so she is going to be able to knock out the Salamence VMAX. And that is going to be the game. So this game 3 wound up being really, really interesting here. Very, very grindy towards like the mid and late game. But I think it made for a pretty interesting series overall. You know, game 1, she like completely dumpstered me. Game 2, kind of the opposite. And this game 3 was actually pretty close. I think if I would have dug the Coco out of the prize cards, this game actually might have been a little bit closer. But since I didn't, I ran out of energy and kind of ran out of steam there. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the match. Of course, like I said at the beginning of this video, deck profiles for both these decks are already posted on the channel. I'll have links down below in the description if you want to check them out. And if you did like today's content, of course, like and subscribe, and consider supporting this channel as well by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.